All right, faithful listeners.
Oh, hi.
Sure, let's go with that.
All 5 of you? Hi.
Our 10
Mom.
YouTube. Welcome to episode 6 of the PSA.
Oh my God,
podcast.
6?
I know, episode 6.
Holy crap.
I know.
I'm surprised.
I was trying real hard to remember what we talked about in episode 3 earlier today, and I just couldn't do it. My memory is absolute shit. It was determinism. But I forgot that.
Oh.
We've done so many episodes.
You blocked that one out.
I've already forgotten.
No,
what...
you just particularly blocked that one out because it was a rough
This is the Return of the Jedi episode.
Yeah.
6.
So what everybody remembers.
6.
Just recaps everything that's happened in the episode.
Right, well, yeah, this is episode 6. I am one of your co-hosts, Brent Blakeney, and sitting next to me is...
I'm Brett Williams.
Yes, equally smart on all levels, human being, because no distinguishing. And,
no distinguishing features when you're talking into a microphone.
I just meant, again, you shit on me so hard that one time because I said just as smart, and you were like...
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, it's probably
I just call
exactly
you
right.
a motherfucker, and then that's the rest of the episode.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
you guys, you can stop listening now, because I'm just going to spend the next...
Okay, bye guys. Have a good night.
And we have a wonderful guest here today.
As we do on even-numbered episodes, apparently.
Yeah, it's just
special guest.
Special guest. He's very special. Like his mommy tells him every day.
A Make-A-Wish kid.
It's true. Thank you for this wish you've said.
Yeah, no, we...
It's sad on so many levels.
Number 1, only a kid with cancer listens to this podcast. Number 2,
Oh my God, I can't breathe.
I think his wish was just to be on a podcast, and this is the only one they could find.
What do you have to talk about time travel?
I'm so
Don't you wish you could travel back in time? Sorry, it's impossible.
I wish I could travel to the future where they had a cure for my disease.
Oh. When does this start to get offensive?
Alright, stop. It started getting offensive when we made that joke.
What?
Oh my gosh. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Dan Bowman.
It's good old Dan Bowman.
Special guest.
Special guy, Dan Bowman.
Tell
And
the listeners what your disease is.
yeah, alright. And you are a engineering student at NC State?
Indeed.
Indeed.
There you go.
So he's going to tell us all about the physics side.
I'm going to try.
Going to try to use very small words for me because I'm so much on the level playing field of intelligence as the rest of these guys that we're going to use normal, intelligent words.
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on this, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
I have developed a lot of opinions over the course of watching all of Futurama episodes, so I will let you know what I think about all of your theories.
All right.
Futurama is science.
That's right, Futurama.
So we haven't even talked about we're going to talk about time travel today.
Yes, time travel.
Time travel.
Is it possible? What is it? What is it not? We don't know. We don't know yet.
And I think it's just appropriate to say that, as always, thoroughly unqualified for this topic.
And we're drinking. This is not a sober episode, you guys. You'll be happy to know that we are drinking Samuel Smith's brand.
Purely Samuel Smith.
Only all three of us, actually, for the first time. So mine is the cider version, because I got the celiacs.
I have the nut brown ale.
He's got the nut
I
brown.
have an oatmeal stout.
Brewed at the old
Oatmeal.
brewery Tadcaster.
It's very bubbly.
1758.
And I apologize for...
This is aged 300 years.
I doubt
It was $4.
I doubt a $4 beer was actually in that bottle for 300 years. But I apologize for any large gaseous exhalations that I do during this.
It will happen.
It probably is going to happen. It's
All right.
most definitely going to happen. They're very bubbly. They put a lot of... It's 300 years worth of carbon dioxide in here, so...
You're drinking really old carbon dioxide. Like 1800s.
Yeah.
Is that 300 years ago?
You notice that they only put the ingredients on
1700s.
cider? And they don't put it on beer?
Well, it's in...
I
No,
don't want you to know.
No, they do. They just put it in the... Like, it's in the description. It's not in the...
Well, mine has an actual...
Yeah, I know. Well, ours
Ingredients
doesn't
list.
need it. Because it says it
But
in
you
the-
don't need that. We
Roasted
don't need no
barley,
fizzy
yeast.
badges.
What is in beer? Like, it's like 4 things
Yeah.
all the time.
Roasted barley, yeast, and aromatic hops. That's
That
all.
sounds like a lot more than the regular. Because they put yeast in water and hops and
And well water. This is well water.
well water.
the purest of well waters.
Yeah. This is not the one that the baby fell in. We have established that.
You can't know.
Well, we don't know for sure, but
really
we're
can't
pretty
know that.
sure we would taste it if it
Do your research.
Taste baby.
taste the baby well water.
God, this has got pure baby well water.
And at 5 minutes in,
Notes
we
of
still have
baby.
not even broached the subject of time travel.
What is time?
And everyone's wishing they could go back in time and forget everything we just said.
The last 6 minutes. So what is time travel?
What is it?
What is it? You formed an opinion.
The
Well, obviously
traveling
it's
through time.
it's traveling through
Traveling
time.
through time.
So at an accelerated rate, either forwards or backwards, than the rate at which we are relatively experiencing it now.
Are we not time traveling right
No,
now?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is our
Yeah.
relative time travel. We're going forward at a speed
All
to
you
which
have to do is sit and you are time traveling.
exactly. So we are all time travelers. Congratulations. But the idea of time travel is an accelerated rate. So
Yes.
you're going faster or technically in reverse of everybody else for which you're experiencing at the moment.
The general concept.
I think
Right.
most people have their ideas of time travel based on fictional things, stories, movies, whatnot. Back to the Future, Terminator, The Time Machine,
Futurama.
It's my
Futurama.
favorite version.
There's got to be way more I'm not thinking of.
Oh yeah, there's like
Yeah.
time travel all over. I mean, Terminator.
Said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Because there's
Carol.
Christmas Carol. We
Christmas
talked
Carol
about
was the other one.
Ghosts and shit.
Old
all the
Scrooge.
ghosts messing with the time space continuums and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that was like alternate realities. That wasn't even time travel.
Yeah.
That was 3 different realities.
Yeah.
He wasn't really. He
Well,
was
one of
like
them-
an observer, though. He wasn't actually like.
Yeah, he wasn't
participating
participating in it. Yeah. So that was a viewing of an alternate reality. We
Right,
could
yeah.
have an
Quantum
episode.
Leap. Wasn't that a
Quantum
thing?
leap. Yeah.
Is that? Oh,
I'm sure they time traveled a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saw
Probably.
it.
Yes.
Ooh, have you ever seen
Sounds
Stargate
right.
SG-1?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh,
Star-
yes, that episode that was like Groundhog's Day when they were just reliving the same day over and over
Groundhog's
again.
Day is a good example.
I love that one.
Oh yeah.
It's a good episode.
Okay.
Also, it's a good movie. Groundhog's Day is funny, but it's the same concept, just reliving the same day. And that's another thing, a time loop. That's another
Yeah.
possibility
Whole nother.
for time. That's my interpretation of what would happen if you tried to travel back in time. You'd end up in a time.
Oh. Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, I would love.
Maybe.
I'd love to hear these. Okay, so let's talk about the physics first,
Yes,
that's where.
because-
How is it possible? Is it even possible?
It is indeed.
Okay, well, then let me hear it, Dan.
I lost all my notes actually.
Oh no! Special Dan lost his notes.
It has been done actually.
It has.
Yes.
Tell me.
We have people that are living in space right now on the
Okay.
International Space Station. They experience time a little bit faster than we do
Okay.
because they're going very fast. Mm-hmm. It's called relative velocity time dilation, and essentially on the International Space Station, you are experiencing time as you would regularly, but time is going just a little bit slower
Because of
on
the.
Earth because you're going faster.
And a lack of gravity. Because
That's
when
another,
you get
that's
to
another
the
part of
point,
it too. There's also called gravitational time
Right.
dilation. If you're closer to a massive object, then outside of your frame of reference, everything goes faster
Yes.
in time.
And
So
along with
You've
to
the
never
idea-
seen Interstellar.
So well, or to like
Oh, I
an
don't wanna talk
ant,
about
an ant who's closer to the center of the Earth is moving slower in its frame of reference and
Yeah.
everything. around.
Well, I mean, you can even look at it from the way of what they've done is put like a clock at sea level and a clock at the top of a mountain, and after a distinguished amount of time, they are actually off. I mean, it's
They've actually done measurements.
Oh, yeah, but I
Like,
mean,
just
it's-
a meter apart too. It's
I mean,
incredibly
traveling. Well,
negligible,
time
yeah.
zones. Even there's time travel for you right there.
you're back in time an hour.
That's,
Yeah. Or just like
That's-
because time
that's
is
like
a
superficial
is
time
a,
travel.
Yeah. Well, it's a construct of our imagination. So time isn't even real.
Time is a human construct.
Time
A
is
human
relative.
construct.
Reality is what I make it.
It's just
That's a common theme through every episode.
That's my theme. That's my motto that I stick by every day. It gets me through the day,
our
you guys.
perception of how things go by.
But yes, so time does travel slightly differently depending on how close you are to a massive body, how fast you're moving in relation to other things. You are technically time traveling if you're going faster than other things. But the idea that you could possibly accelerate to years or more in forward in time or backwards in time as a human experiencing time the way we do right now.
Right.
Is that possible?
Forward is much more plausible and even way more possible than traveling into the
It
past.
certainly has been done. Too.
Right.
Okay.
Along from the ways of, what do you want to start with? I started with relativistic physics, traveling any great distance forward in time. If you can accelerate to the speed of light or relativistic speed,
Right,
you
yeah.
can't see. I'm making air
Relative
quotes.
velocity, time dilation. You can do
Right.
that, or you can just hang out next to a black hole for a while.
Yeah,
and
if you can
come
find one of
back.
those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you can find one. Yeah.
Oh, there's our sun's gonna be one in a little bit, so give it a second. We'll get there.
give it like 5 trillion seconds.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So, we'll get there.
Just hold on, Earth. We're gonna get there eventually.
So, on a basic level, if you could get in a ship and travel away from Earth at the speed of light for a set amount of time, let's say you go a year out, 365 days, turn around, come back 365 days, theoretically the Earth will have aged, like if you had a twin, your twin would have aged 2 years, you would be pretty close to the same age as when you left.
They'd probably be dead, actually. If you go the speed of light.
Well, yeah, I mean, assuming
you'd
like
be pretty far away, and then you come back and like, oh man.
Oh, you
Dead
look terrible. Especially in that coffin. Does not suit you, sus. Does not suit you, fam.
He's the same age. He's so old.
So the idea that traveling at the speed of light for the Earth equivalent of 6 months and then coming back would be years.
I'm not sure how many years, but
Yeah.
yeah, it would be years on Earth.
Well, no, I'm saying if you
Earth
travel
will have
at
turned several fucking times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you traveled at the speed of light for what so the Earth turns a year,
Yeah.
but you've gone out and come back
Yeah.
in that same amount of time.
Yeah.
So you'll be a year younger.
Well, no,
You'd be a year older. You would experience time as normal, like
yeah,
the
you're
same
still
amount of time
going
it
the
would take for
same.
the Earth.
You're not 0 years old at that point. Like you've been traveling for a year.
Right, but at relativistic speeds,
Yeah, but you're still experiencing.
your development, your changes in your physicality would slow down.
No, you'd be experiencing time the same. So if you were to travel at the speed of light, which you can't see everything around you, it's going too fast.
It's kind of blurry.
It's blurry, and there's
Right.
lines. That's all you're seeing, and
Redshift
you're going
illusion.
6 months for at that speed. You're living 6 months. Like your time that you're experiencing now, you are living. So
time is going by the same.
The same for
as it
you.
would if you were on Earth.
So you travel out 6 months, and you're 6 months older, and then you stop, you turn around and you come back 6 months, and you're another 6 months older because that's how you're experiencing time. So you are a year older, but everybody else on Earth is now way older,
Probably dead.
maybe dead, like significantly older.
So how is that different from the idea of like gravitational dilation,
It's
like that scene in Interstellar?
Yeah, like since very, very, very large, massive objects like black holes, they distort space-time, so time goes a lot faster relative to you, outside of you. So
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really go slower because it goes the same pace
Right.
if you're around the black hole. But so like an hour near a black hole is probably like several hundred years on Earth or something.
Right.
So it's
makes
pretty
sense.
intense, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the actual.
I I don't know
I
what
don't
the math is for that.
Not either.
You were looking it up. You're supposed to know.
I wasn't looking up, but I can.
The magic of technology. I'm just reading about Stephen Hawking and picturing his voice saying these words.
Just look up the transcript for.
And it's very much like my computer is talking to me in my head.
Let's ask Matthew McConaughey. How long will it take?
All right.
7 minutes on this ocean planet.
Seems really
70
sad, you
years
guys.
on Earth. All right.
Need to watch his kids die. Damn it.
I keep getting older, they stay the same age.
Oh my god. Oh, it's gross when you say it like that.
That's what he said.
That's so not right.
So you mentioned the term space-time. Space-time, from my understanding, is a mathematical model that combines space and time into one functional thing. So it's almost like we occupy a space, like a latitude and longitude, and then you add in the idea that
The fourth dimension.
right
Time.
and you could also pinpoint this point in time.
Since it's a dimension, it can be thrown in with space,
Right.
Space time.
So what I'm saying is like it's almost
as-
when you look at it, like our space time is almost like a relative coordinate to where and when we are right now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Just
would go
explaining
at
space-time.
right angles. Like
Yes.
From the second dimension, at right angles would be the z-axis, the third dimension. At right angles of all three of those, which we cannot really perceive well, would be the fourth dimension.
Right.
We kind of
Which is known as a
halfway perceive that
Euclidean.
as the passage of time, I guess.
So
but,
we all often operate in a Euclidean space time.
Of course, yes.
Of course.
Of course.
Duh.
Euclidean.
That's the only thing I know.
Little
Good
plebes.
old Euclid. He knew how to.
Oh, Euclid. I miss him.
Yeah, he's. Oh man, I remember when he was kicking. He was a cool fella.
So yeah, so future time travel based on what we know about relative and special and general relativity is, like you said, it can happen. It has happened.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So the question is
Backwards time travel?
backwards time travel.
I don't think it happens.
Why not?
I can't. Well, I'm actually looking up a thing from Stephen Hawking right now.
All right.
He suggests that he does say forward time travel is possible. But he says that moving backwards in time is impossible
Right.
because it violates a fundamental rule that cause comes before effect.
Yes.
And if moving backwards through time was possible, a person could shoot their former selves.
Yes.
I believe
Grandfather
things.
paradox.
Yeah, and he says, I believe things cannot make themselves impossible.
Yes.
So my concept of backwards time travel is that if you were to go backwards in time, you would, just by being there, here we go back to the butterfly effect, just by being there, you will have changed or altered that passage of time or the causes that create the effects for the future, in which case you could alter it enough to where you wouldn't have a reason to make a time machine to
Yes.
go backwards in time, and you would end up in an infinite time loop.
Right.
So, like for example, if you went back in time to kill Hitler before he did everything that he did, you wouldn't have the initiative in the future to make a time machine to go backwards in time to kill Hitler, in which case you would not have ever made the time machine and Hitler still would have lived, but then you would have had a reason to make a time machine and you would end up in an infinite time loop.
Well, why would you just not create an alternate future?
Because that alternate future wouldn't have a time machine for you to go backwards in time to kill Hitler.
Unless you bring the time machine with you.
Unless you...
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, that's Back to the
Duplicated.
Future. That's Back to the Future.
Yeah,
rules.
you would have to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able
I get
to bring a time machine with you that not only goes backwards but also forwards in time.
You have to make sure
You would have to live
you
within
have, like,
a
the schematics.
Well,
of
no,
how
you would
to-
actually have to live within a separate dimension. You would have to be able to, because here's the thing: if you were to do that, you would create two different dimensions. One in which you created a time machine to go backwards in time, and one in which you didn't, because that's the one that you created. You created another dimension in which things didn't happen the way they did. So you would have to actually be able to flip between alternate dimensions in order to make that possible.
Well, no, like if you.
No, I'm telling you, it's
No,
not
I know, but what I'm
possible.
saying is, I'm not arguing it is possible, but I'm just saying if you could go back in time using this machine, you wouldn't necessarily like that future that you came from would still exist. You would just jet off into
Yeah,
the
you would
alternate.
create an alternate reality.
Yeah.
So, but that time machine, if you brought it with you, would have to be able to flip between alternate realities. You wouldn't have actually changed.
No.
History. You would have actually just made a separate history,
Right,
and that's
right.
different. That's not the same as time travel, in my opinion. But
if you travel forward, you can't go back.
if you
where
travel
came
forward,
from.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can't go back unless you.
No. If you go back, change the future, you can't go back to the future you came from.
Yeah.
You would go forward
But
to the alternate future.
So you
Right.
have to make a machine
Yes.
that goes between dimensions, and so. Like, because if you didn't have, like, if you just went backwards in time and you didn't have a time machine or dimension machine with you, then you will be stuck there.
Yeah.
And you will have actually made a time loop. Like, you can't, because either way you go, you're making a time loop. As soon as you get to that point in time where you made a time machine to go backwards in time to change things, that's not the way things are anymore. And you would not have created that time machine. So you'd have to keep going back. You'd end up in a Groundhog Day situation.
Well, that's why Stephen Hawking says, or not Stephen Hawking, sorry. He has a rebuttal to this, which I think is really interesting. That the reason time travel doesn't exist is because we don't have time tourists.
Yeah, tourists. Yeah.
Yeah. So, be like,
or they're just well hidden. I don't know.
yeah. Like, you see all those pictures of people that are like, this guy has a cell phone in the 20s. You're like, no, you're stupid.
It's all conspiracy at this point.
But
really
that brings me to the idea in Futurama, which is my favorite stuff. Futurama, where they get into a time machine
Right.
that only goes forward in time.
Star Trek 4, that's another one. Slingshot around the side. Anyway.
Okay. But the idea that this is where circular time, this is where cyclical time comes in. So
Stephen Hawking. Yeah.
So if you're able to go forward in time, you would end up going so far forward in time that you'd end up back at the start.
Potentially.
And you can essentially go back in time. It's the same timeline.
You'd be going back in time, but
assuming it's the same timeline.
yeah,
I'm not sure.
it might not be the same timeline. We're not really sure because it'd be a whole nother universe starting again. So you'd basically be able to go back around the clock that we're living in, and you could see things as they were happening.
I mean,
forward
if
in time.
it's cyclical, would it end right as it began? Like, is that
Yeah.
how it is? The big crunch and the Big Bang
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
happen with the same parameters.
Yeah, it
and
basically-
the universe would pretty much
Yeah, so
happen at the
basically
same
it would
time
just
every-
go
every
whoop.
go around.
Time is a flat
It would just
circle.
go like this. So it's just a rubber band going back and forth,
The
and
same parameters every time.
that's the idea.
Same universe, the same situations,
Maybe.
the same people, the same names. the
Maybe
same-
that's another thing though. That's hard to pinpoint if it's going to be the exact same every time because we can't predict the outcome of an explosion, and so maybe explosion does a little
Maybe-
bit differently
maybe
every
the explosion is
time.
based off the crunch at the end of the universe.
Possibly.
Maybe it's just infinite. And
Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
But
Maybe it's going the same way each time.
maybe it is. That is right. I never thought about that. Like, you could circle the
You just drive
timeline.
around.
So you just drive around. Drive around.
Drive around the
Just
block.
drive
Come
No,
back.
just come back.
Come back to us.
Just don't. You don't need.
You know what? Come back. Pick me up on the way. It's fine.
It's
It's
all right.
fine. I'll die. The universe will die. But just get me on the way.
Yeah, get me on the way back.
Get me on the second pass.
Yep. So, sucks for those people that have to keep reliving the end of the world. Sorry, guys. Sucks for you.
Oh man, that
Sucks.
would suck.
Right? You get there
The
right
end-
at the end.
The end of the world sucks, really.
It's
Damn
not any
it.
different.
It wouldn't be any different than the last however many times it's happened. Infinite number of times.
Infinite number of
Probably
times.
like 43 at this point.
At least 42.
At least 42.
Alright. Hey, Douglas Adams, I missed you. Alright.
Although there is kind of a theory for backwards time travel.
Okay, let's hear it.
The idea of like curving space time and wormholes, you could essentially curve space time back into itself and
Yes.
kind of end up like either behind it or at the same
Is
place.
space time a plane? Like a. What's the idea of curving a dimension? Is it like on a plane, like a grid?
It's an infinite number of planes, essentially.
So how
like
can you
in every
curve it?
direction, there's a plane you can curve.
How can you curve
This
something
goes
that's
into
infinite?
the gravitational lens effect.
All right, I want to hear this.
There's essentially, say you have a black hole.
Okay,
and
I have a black hole.
And you're looking at it. You're looking at it through a telescope, and you have stars behind it.
Okay. Just looks like nothing.
No, it doesn't actually. It bends all the light around.
Oh, okay.
Around, and all the lights from the stars form this weird circle around it, and it just distorts it and everything.
Just looks like a halo.
It looks like a halo, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. So you can bend that with a black hole if you have like.
But that's just light. That's not time, is it?
Well, if you have enough gravity, if you have enough mass, you can bend space-time. That's what it's doing. It's bending space-time. It's not bending the light, actually. The light's always going in a straight line. It's just relative to you, it looks like it's bending because space is bending. So if you bend space enough by putting like any number of any conformation of black holes like together, it will bend it back up into itself, and that's in
So
theory.
all we need to do is get a bunch of black holes, put them together.
Make sure they don't collide into each other.
What would happen if that
And you
happened?
can just bend the shit out of space.
What would happen if a bunch of black holes like ran into each other?
Oh man, you haven't seen that GIF of
No.
two black holes colliding?
No.
Oh
what
my
happened?
god, it's so cool.
Show me on the YouTube.
There's actually, I haven't read into it, but
Is it like a supernova? What
gravitational
happens?
waves, I think, they actually resonate at the frequency of audible sound, so you can actually detect gravitational waves as black holes collide with each other, and it like sends a ripple in gravity.
What causes them to collide?
Gravity.
They're just so
They are attracted to each
so
other because
attracted
they're
to each
massive
other.
objects.
Gotcha.
So they just
they just have
collide
like
into each
two.
other.
That's the audible sound of
Two-
gravity. Yep.
Yeah.
there's just
Two,
so much mass colliding with each other that it just
Well, black holes
ripples
come
space-time.
from imploded stars, correct? What are black holes?
Yeah,
are,
they can. Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
supernovas?
that
Yeah.
just
That just
all the
suck
mass just
everything in.
kinda
So you got like
really, really
say you got
dense.
like a supernova happening on really really close to another one, and you just end up with two black holes that are gravitationally attracted to
Right.
each other. Okay, and it just does it look like anything, or it just sounds like something? It just sounds like a fart.
Well, it doesn't sound like anything because it's not a sound. It's
Just a wave traveling
the
at the frequency of sound.
can be perceived as sound, so you can just set it up as a sound wave.
Does it look
And
like
it's in
anything?
the frequency.
Does it look like an explosion or something? It just doesn't look like anything at all.
It looks like the waves.
Just looks like
It
waves.
looks,
Yeah.
it bends gravity and space time.
So almost in a
like
way,
a-
almost
it's
in
a
a way
wave,
of
yeah.
if you
looks like a sea in the sky.
like if you were looking at a star relatively behind where these things it would look like the star was moving positions in the sky because the waves would bend it as it went by.
That's kind of.
There's like a
Right.
like a leaf sitting on a pond, like it's
Yeah.
gonna move. It's just the way it looks.
And stars do that too.
Yes.
But very, very gently. But like if you look through a telescope on the Earth at a star, and you somehow know that there's a star directly behind it, you know you can't see it, but you can. It's like on both sides and on top and on bottom because the star is actually bending light so that
Right.
it can like go around the star.
That's kind of cool.
That's what
Legit.
gravity does. It just bends the shit out of shit.
Oh,
Yep.
God. Damn it, gravity. That's why I'm bending forward. That's why my shoulders
Just the
slump.
lack of trap muscles, but that's a different. Okay, you can fight
It's
that.
gravity, goddammit!
What do you
Yep.
like better, gravity or trap muscles?
Yeah,
You have to pick one.
you gotta pick one.
You gotta pick one.
You want to stand up straight, or you just want to be like that? Gravity.
Kind of want to be just
Gravity.
gravity. I don't have to worry
You ever
about.
seen the movie Gravity?
It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Just saying.
It was
Love Sandra Bullock and all,
generic
but
space movie.
I was tired of watching her breathe heavily.
She breathes a lot. In that
She
movie.
breathes a
That's-
lot.
That's most of the script. Actually.
It's most of her,
Space.
most of the script is just heavy breathing in
Sandra
parentheses.
Bullock, everything. Or damn, what was that other movie? Contact.
Contact, yeah.
That was. I don't remember what did they make. That was another Matthew McConaughey actually. What did they make?
Is he obsessed with space?
That's interesting.
No, I agree.
Well, that in high school.
I just would never put Matthew McConaughey in a spaceship.
Interstellar.
If I were NASA. I'm just saying.
You just want handsome to go to the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true though. If we have to repopulate something, I really hope Matthew McConaughey is there. And me.
What did they make? What did they make in the middle of the Contact? I can't remember what it was.
Oh god, I can't remember either. What is it? I'm looking it up right now.
But they dropped her through, and visually it was an instant drop from like top of the thing through the. I guess it must have been a wormhole. It had to be like a wormhole or space-time
Possibly,
tear
yeah.
or something like that. Because she
But-
traveled, but
The
it
measurements
looked-
they had on Earth, she just fell right
Yeah.
This
through,
has just
like,
turned
yeah.
into a review of Contact. We had thought this was going to be a podcast about deep thoughts, but it's just
Nope,
a,
just
a
a review
review
of
of
Matthew
all the
McConaughey
science
movies.
fiction movies. Yeah.
So anyway, I'd like to move on to Dallas Buyers Club if I could.
Can we do that one?
Actually, Mud. Did you watch Mud? It was on Netflix. That was actually pretty good.
did see that.
Okay, so
Wall Street. That's got him in it.
oh, it does have him there. That took me 3
Wormhole.
tries to get through.
It's a long movie.
Well, it's just heavy.
Yeah.
Like there are certain points where I was like, I have to put this
Blow.
down. From
Oh no, that was a weak one. Let me get a good one in.
I beat you to the burp.
Yeah, you did. I'm so mad at you now.
But okay, all right. Probably leave all that in.
Yeah.
The idea of curving space-time around, doesn't that break the idea of causality? Because if you could bend it enough, theoretically, the outcome of something could occur before the
You have
cause.
a time travel in a black hole?
Not recently,
The outcome ends up before.
right? But
Cause,
how does
If you
time
actually
travel into the
curve it,
past
yeah.
not break the law of causality?
Well, essentially, I guess it'd be like if you have like a piece of string and you have another piece of string that's tied to it, and then you somehow like fold the piece of string and like tie it to before where you went.
This is the most visual thing you don't have a visual.
I know.
for.
I really
You
wish I
need
could
pieces
show
of
you.
string.
See, I
for
know.
this.
But you'd end up making
Like we're sitting here and you're making hand gestures and I got nothing.
Yeah.
Our listeners are fucked.
I can't
I
imagine
know.
string right now.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sad about
Oh
that.
my goodness. Okay, so
Okay, string.
you have a long thing of string, right?
Okay.
And you have oh my
No,
god.
I'm lost.
I'm gonna show you.
What
Give
is
me your
string?
blinds. I'm gonna show you.
What is this string thing?
Or like wire or something. But like, okay, so you have.
Well, now wires are involved.
I'm gonna kill all of you. So you have a string,
Okay.
and on that string you have tied another string in the
Okay.
middle, right? And that's just hanging off, and you basically take the string that you originally had and tie it back to the beginning of your piece of string.
Okay.
And now you've got essentially you're looping back to wherever you bended it,
Right.
but then you're traveling forward through the same events, provided that you don't change anything. But you'd end up still going down.
I guess. Do you mean you're inducing a cyclical time?
Yeah, but
line?
you still have a singular, like, because that one that you tied to the end of the other one, you still have it. So it's still going. So you'd pretty much end up not changing anything at all. It would just be that somehow or another you ended up before you caused it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you basically, am I making sense at all?
Yeah,
Okay, so
kind of.
okay, so I'm gonna draw a picture.
Oh, no.
Yes,
All
draw
right.
a picture
Okay,
for the lovely
so
audience.
here, this
I'll
is
take a picture and
this
post
is
it
an
on Instagram.
idea. Yeah, so this is an idea. Altered timelines. I like how that's right above it. Okay, so here's your piece of string, right?
Right.
And to the end of the string, you tie another piece of string,
Okay.
right? And then this piece of string goes off like this. So you have basically one piece of string, and then you tied another piece of string to it.
Right.
Right? And then you bent reality to where you bent this piece of string back to here.
Okay.
So you'd end up following the same timeline,
All right.
but it would still go the same place. So you really honestly didn't do anything at all.
So is time going in the left direction? Forward time?
Yeah,
going
sorry,
left?
yeah, this is going this
Okay,
way.
okay.
It's going that way. And you go forward in time, you bent time back this way.
Is this right here the event where you bend time, and this is?
Yeah, that's
where,
the regular
I guess, the regular
timeline.
timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this essentially you don't really actually have this project. It's not like this is part of the timeline. This is just where you bent time back.
Okay.
So you're just going the same way.
And you could just put a bunch of black holes right here. So
Yeah,
you
just
bend
put a
time.
ton of little black holes. I'm just gonna put a B with a circle around it.
Black hole.
These
Bee
are for-
holes.
Bee holes.
Bee
Bunch of
holes.
A bunch of bee
Get
holes.
those bee holes in there.
I want to get them real close to each other. That's how I like it.
But don't let them touch each other. 'Cause
Oh, some of them are
that'll be
touching.
bad.
I like my bee holes to look like a fly's eye.
Yeah.
We're gonna bend space time with these bee holes.
Yeah. So you essentially
And go
you
back
didn't
in time.
actually do anything. It just bent time
You
around
didn't-
itself,
yeah,
but it's
you didn't
going
do
the
anything
same.
relative to this current timeline, right?
Yeah, you didn't do
However,
anything at all.
you did throw a bunch of black holes into space.
Yeah, and hope they didn't
Yeah.
reach each
Fuck
other.
up a bunch of alien planets.
Oh, poor alien.
Yeah,
You
well,
gotta do it in like the no zone where there's like no stars or anything.
Yeah.
Like talk to the PETA of the universe or something. Make sure you don't kill anything. No.
People against the poor treatment of aliens. that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
people for the ethical treatment of
Of aliens,
aliens.
Yes.
yeah, that one.
PETA. We've all heard of it.
Same thing.
We all know PETA. We've seen them do shit.
Alright, so assuming time travel forward and backward would be possible,
Okay.
I think that raises the question, at least for me, which I think is interesting, presentialism versus eternalism. Is time some sort of physical manifestation that you could travel through, or is time just changes in the present? Changes relative to what we conceive the present to be.
Okay, wait.
That's
Tell
what it seems like. Changes that. Would
Yeah.
what was that first?
So is there some eternalism being that like there is a past, like that
Okay.
is something, for lack of better terms, physical that we can comprehend, that we could go to, or is
We walk
time
to the
just a
past.
change in the present? It's just a constant change. Like we just our measurement of
Is the past recorded or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah,
Can you,
exactly.
Like, go
okay.
back?
Okay, I was like, what the fuck are you talking
I
about?
was trying to be
Um,
clever.
Yeah, that was poorly done.
Can I draw you a picture?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Can you walk back to the past?
Okay, so
Take a
is
stroll
the
back
past
to the
recorded
past.
or is it gone forever? Gotcha. I like to think that it's gone forever so that I can forget all of my misgivings.
Ooh.
Well, that implies that
So
you
what would you-
automatically forget everything that ever happened to you.
Yeah.
What would you be traveling back
the past.
into?
The past is always there, like in our brains.
In our
as
brains,
as
but is it
memories.
still there?
Okay, so meaning,
Is it
so if this
still
is
there?
now, is there like a past and then a future?
Oh my god, Brent, please go
I need
away.
to find some strength.
No.
I need to find
I
some
just
strength.
spat at it.
Get this.
Get the string.
All right, and Dan and I will talk.
And I'm just like sitting there with a ball of yarn, just like making like cat's cradles in my hands. Like, this is what time looks like.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty complex. Oh my god.
How did you make it look like a broomstick? Good for you. Yeah.
These are three
Broomstick
events
theory of
coming into
time.
one.
Ooh, look, I can change into the Eiffel Tower.
This is just getting crazy. I don't
But
understand
yes,
time.
okay, is the past recorded
Yes,
on some sort of
but it is
recording machine,
Yeah,
or is it just gone forever?
called your brain.
Okay. All right. Now, is it something that we can walk backwards into? Other than, taking a bunch of hallucinogens and reliving it.
Oh, we should do that.
I
for
don't
a
know. Can you?
podcast.
That would be terrible. A really terrible idea. Okay, Brent had some good ideas. Go ahead, Dan.
Philosophy, science, and acid.
This 9-hour podcast / journey we're about to go on.
All right, everybody, buckle in. Oh God.
I would freak the fuck
Oh
out
my
immediately.
God, we would go into such deep shit and
No. We wouldn't even. No, I am
There
so
would just be
panicky.
silence for a few hours. Just like
Someone like throws up in the back. Like, oh God. Someone starts screaming. There's like a.
Did we travel in time? Are we traveling in time right now?
Oh, where are we? What year is it?
Yeah.
No, I would immediately freak out.
Okay,
I
well,
know
now you know
enough
what
about
not
myself.
to give Brent.
Don't give me acid.
Okay.
Hey, about that beer.
Oh, by the way, we put acid in your beer.
You dosed me.
We wanted to see what
I've
happened.
done been dosed.
He goes back in time. We're like, shit, we did it!
Judges just
How did you do that?
Everybody, this is how you time travel.
You just put a bunch of acid
Drugs.
in beer.
Okay, you need acid from Tyrone on the corner of Martin and this other road, and you need Samuel Smith's beer, and apparently you can.
Specifically the stout.
The stout.
The oatmeal stout, you guys.
But you need
the oatmeal is what
The
makes it
enzymes in
real
the
happy.
oatmeal that react with
Yeah.
Tyrone's
lysergic acid.
strand of acid.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That was racist.
That sounds a little bit racist.
What were we
Tyrone
talking
could be a
about?
white guy name.
Tyrone could be anybody.
That's just his. That's the drug dealer's pseudonym. That's not his real name. That's just what
Tyrone
he
could be a
chose.
word someday, too.
Omar coming.
It's sometimes it's a word.
Omar's
Like,
coming.
it'd probably be like, hey.
So if you could time travel, could you also just travel back inside your own consciousness?
Yeah,
would
I
you-
do that all the damn time when I'm dwelling on shit that I've done. I'm like, oh my god. You look like you're like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, oh my god, I've done so many bad things, and then you start like crying.
You can write down all of your memories.
Yeah.
But can you accurately record them
No.
as experiences?
No.
Probably
Or
not.
can you extend
So
your
is
consciousness
it you're
outside
just
of your
saying?
brain?
Well, what about people with what's it called? Photogenic
Photographic
memory.
memories?
Yeah.
But
Photogenic.
here's what's
Photographic memory.
whatever.
Eidetic
Your
memory.
memory is so photogenic. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god.
Let's take
Be a
photos.
tiger.
Okay, memory.
Memory.
I don't like this one. Can we?
Memory, get out of here.
I don't want this anymore.
So, but what's interesting is they found that a memory is actually when you remember something, you're just remembering the last time you remembered it. That's why memories can get distorted over time, and you can
a
forget
little-
things, and you can.
Little, what is it called?
What
Telephone?
What
Time
about your
dilations?
memory of?
No. Telephone, the game where you go around
Right.
and you say a little phrase and it gets changed a little bit each time.
You're just remembering the last time you remembered it.
Yeah, that's why memories
a memory?
distort over time.
But what about
What
no?
about if you
I don't do
remember
that.
the last time you remembered when you remembered something?
No.
How does-
What about just remembering what 2 + 2 is? That's not distorted.
That's a constant.
No, it's not. Not if you're a baby.
But you're
I think
Are you just remembering the
certain
last time you
memories-
were told that 2 + 2 was 4?
or the last time you had to work it out.
Certain memories have certain impacts on how clear it is.
What about
to you.
pictures
Because you see
and
2
smells?
+ 2 come up so many times because you've taken so many fucking math
So
classes.
what about a certain smell?
A sense memory. That's just tied to a memory. That's not the memory itself.
Okay. So you're just
Sense
remembering.
of smell is actually one of the best memories that you can have.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really, really close to your brain. The olfactory
Yeah, apparently,
bulb.
like,
It
peanut
goes
butter is one of the
just,
most recognized
goes
smells in the
straight
world.
up into your brain.
That and
I've
Crayola crayons. Fun fact. One of the most recognized smells in the world.
Crayons smell pretty good.
I think Bradford.
I
pear
sniff
trees
crayons
when they
on a daily
They
basis.
smell like jizz. You don't have those
What's
in North
wrong
Carolina.
with you? You
What?
want to go to a doctor?
Semen trees. Those trees when they bloom, they smell like jizz.
I don't-
What?
I think you need to go see
Okay,
a
well,
doctor.
you guys
Which
did not grow
ones?
up in Virginia.
Semen smells like
I've
Bradford
definitely
trees.
randomly smelled semen while I was walking down in a park or something. I don't know. I think
Not
it's some
wrong.
kind of fungus or something.
I don't want to Google semen trees, but I'm going to.
Semen trees.
This is going to be the weirdest image search that we've ever had on this podcast. All right, you
Your
guys.
street probably smells like semen right now.
All right, this is where this podcast is going. We were started with
That's
time
the
travel,
first-
ended with semen trees.
That's the
so,
first Google result.
all
A
right,
calorie pear.
calorie pear.
A deciduous tree that is common throughout North America. It blossoms
What
in
is a
early
Bradford
spring
pear?
that smell like semen.
Semen?
So it's real.
Yeah,
Oh.
no,
Is that a Bradford
It's
pear?
not-
Or is
yeah.
it different?
I think it's the same thing.
Is it the white one?
Yeah.
The little
It's
white
not
flies?
just like a group of weird people just mass
Just-
jizzing in
Just all over trees. And
Is that like the fertilizer you
yeah,
use?
it's a cult in the spring. They just jizz on this one type of tree.
Makes sense to me.
I know of this cult.
It's like, I was part of that for a little bit. It was harder because I was a woman. But
Oh, God.
Anywho, where did this go off the rails?
that was so long ago.
What?
Yeah, all right. You know,
Okay, we were
you know
talking
what?
about memory.
You know what it is? Time travel is recorded because I can go back and listen to this podcast and just feel just terribly offended by everything I just said.
We can go back in time and listen to this podcast.
Yeah. So is it real?
So then
Well,
what
I
is a
think,
recording?
I think what we feel as real
Recording
is
is-
going
You're listening
back
to-
and actually experiencing every sense that you experienced when you actually experienced it. So
Yeah.
go back and experience all the smells.
Well, this is
tastes,
just
whatever.
one part of history that was recorded.
Right.
Like
This is just the
The
sound.
audio.
the
Yeah.
vibrations that are coming out, but and somehow your computer is able to in the present be able to like decipher those waves. So technically, no, it's still the present. You're not recording the past. You're recording the
Auditory.
present.
Auditory time travel.
That you
Yeah.
can listen to again in the future.
Yeah. So it's not really reliving the past.
Oh.
So that's an interesting question.
Maybe if you record every single sense that you sense.
Yeah, that
Somehow
would,
record
that
it.
would be
Memory.
that would be a perfect
as we
recording.
do with that would be like a perfect recording.
Yeah, but you
go
can't
back
do
and
that.
actually experience
Yeah.
it like
Yeah.
virtual reality. Everything is
Yeah,
like that's like
it's not possible.
almost. I feel like that's artificial time travel. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like you're
Being
actually
able to-
going back into the
yeah.
past and experiencing everything that you experienced.
Huh.
Because everything that you were experiencing was being recorded as you were experiencing them.
Yeah, that'd be kind of creepy.
And you can go back and
I think I'd want to do that.
No.
Maybe.
I can
It's
hardly
kinda
listen to
weird.
these podcasts. And
Yeah,
just
I
like,
know.
oh, my voice is so fucking grating. Just God, why do you?
Here we are in
listen to
episode
this?
6.
Why do people suffer
Return of
through
the
this?
Jedi.
My squeaky fucking female voice.
Here we go. This is it. This is where we lost it. Episode 6.
time travel.
Yeah, cider. All right. All right. What's on the agenda for the last bit of this podcast? We are at.
Well, we could talk about can a paradox exist? We kind of brushed on that earlier. But
I believe paradox can exist.
is time are time travel
Meeting yourself in the past.
Yeah, is time travel
Killing
not
yourself?
possible because a paradox cannot exist? You cannot. It's not universally possible to go back in time and kill your grandfather before you
Yes.
met your grandmother.
Yeah, I believe that.
So that's why time travel can't happen.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if you go back and kill your grandfather, it'll probably make an entirely new timeline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't think.
but then the
You would still
causality
exist
problem.
because you came from a different timeline, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you just be. Well, that's just it. You'd be flitting. It's not really time travel because it would
You're
just.
traveling.
You'd
to,
create. You'd go back to a
You're
point
going.
in
You're
time.
going back into your timeline.
But you'd create
But
a whole
there's-
separate.
Yeah, there's a new
timeline.
branch once you do
Yeah.
this event.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's possible.
So there are some scientists, philosophers, etc., that say the pull of reality on our brains and what we conceive reality to be is so strong that you wouldn't do it because your brain can't grasp it.
You'd just go crazy.
Yeah, you'd go
Yeah.
crazy like in the process of trying to work it out.
Yeah.
So like reality itself and what we perceive it to be doesn't let us do it because
I think
can't
that
happen.
physics doesn't let us do it. I don't think it's our perception of reality. I think, like, personally, I believe it's not possible. But that's just it. If I was told one day that it was possible, my head would explode. Because I couldn't.
I don't know. That's just like status quo. Like we, as a species, know that it's not possible right
Yeah.
now, but
But
we
what
could
actually
get to a
I
point where
don't
we
know.
learn certain
I mean,
things
well,
that
this is
make
it.
us.
Me personally,
and
like,
then it becomes.
I
like,
wouldn't be able to wrap
normal.
my head around it to the point where I could be comfortable with it.
Right. Well, what's interesting is it goes back to the idea of time travel doesn't exist because there are no time tourists. Hawking says that if you go off the idea of the development of wormholes and sort of bending space-time back on itself, that that being the origin point, so essentially you're creating that space-time loop.
Right.
So you technically couldn't travel further back in time than where
Than the
that loop starts.
Yeah.
So time travel in the future may be possible, but we won't know about it because we haven't hit that point yet. That
When they went
origin
back.
point. Right.
Okay, but they can't tell us?
No, because they can't go past that origin point. So, like, if our technology, just look at it from a technological standpoint, he's saying that if we one day develop time travel, because of the way time travel would work, you couldn't go back before time travel existed.
So time travel's not possible. Because as soon as time travel existed,
Think
You'd be
about
there.
like this at this point. You just decided to put a bunch of black holes right here, and then
Those
it bends
be
space
holes.
time and brings you back. Those black holes weren't there before you did
Right.
that.
yeah, so
you can only
so
go back
time
to that
travel's
point
not possible.
because yeah.
Not yet.
No,
Not
it's
yet.
not. It's but that's just it. Like it's not yet. Always, it's always not yet.
No, it's not yet until it is, and then it wasn't
it's still
till it is.
not yet. Like I'm just saying, like when it becomes that, then we will only be able to travel forward,
Or to that point in the past when it
or
did
to
exist.
or to the point. Yes, so
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
That's
so
what I'm
you're,
saying.
So like
so,
after
we,
a
so
few
time
minutes
travel's not
have gone by,
possible
you can just go
yet.
back.
Yes.
Because we need to create a time machine that has now gone forward in time long enough for us to go back in time to when the time machine was created.
Theoretically, yes. And then you could go 500 years in the future, but you could never go back to any
Before
point
the time
machine
machine.
was invented.
Okay.
That's why no one has come back in time to be like, this is how it works.
Yeah.
Because we, as a species, haven't created it yet.
Gotcha.
We haven't
Okay.
hit that origin point.
Gotcha.
I thought that
Right.
was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay, what about the ethics?
the ethics of it. All right. Could you, if you could time travel, would you? If you could go back in time and change something, would you?
What would you change?
What?
I mean, okay,
what would
okay,
you
well,
What
change?
is the goal of the change?
So
like,
the goal
like
of
if
the
you
change-
go back
Well,
and kill
well,
Hitler.
well, yeah, well, let's
are
look
you
at 2
changing the
points.
timeline that you came
Yes.
from?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So
Would that be
forget.
ethical?
Yes,
You're helping
forget-
you're helping another timeline or yours?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Forget the idea that you would not, for some reason, exist should you go back, because all the physics and or theoretical physics states that that's not possible. But if it were possible, we're going to take away all of the what ifs. We're just going to say it is possible to go back in time and change something. Would you? Would you if you could?
Okay. I have 2 questions and then like a 1A.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, let's just say I have 3 questions.
Okay.
First one, can you come back? I think that has,
You can come back to the present, but the present is going to be different.
Right.
Remember that.
okay.
The present is now
the
different.
exact moment that you went back?
Yes. Now remember, you probably wouldn't be the same person either.
Okay.
So yes, you could go back to the say
So,
you left
yeah, so
you left
changing
today.
The past, changing the past
You
changes
left
you.
Yes. So you left
Whoa.
today.
Okay.
So then there's no
Wait,
no
wait a
I
minute.
know I get
Okay.
what you're saying.
Yeah. So you left today.
You would be coming back to the future you
You'd be
created.
coming back to today.
Yes. What then? You would have to, in some capacity, prove to me what I'm doing was infinitely better for humanity, because you're essentially giving up your life. You're
risking
dying.
a lot.
You're essentially dying to yourself
Well,
in a
that's-
sense
You could
and coming
survive
back.
this though.
You're
You
risking a lot. Now here's the thing. You're the only one who has time travel. It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just
So
you.
that's what
You
I'm saying.
have no frame of reference. You don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea.
No, that's
Would you
but
go
what
back
I'm
in
saying
time
is
and
what I'm
change
saying is you that's what I'm saying is you would have to prove to me what I'm doing is
But
infinitely
no one
better.
has anything to prove because you're the first person to come up with
No,
time
I
travel.
wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it. Okay.
No.
I'd imagine myself stabbing Hitler in the throat and then just immediately disappearing.
Yeah.
Okay. So neither one of you would change anything about the course of history.
I mean, not with that many unknowns.
Okay, say you could go back in time.
There's just an infinite amount of
Hold on a second.
possibilities that could
No,
happen.
I didn't say how long back in time you had to
Well,
go.
yeah, I know.
So say
And that was my
I
other
could
question.
go. Now you just created time travel. All right, it exists now. All right, and you wait a week. Right, so now we have the possibility we can go back in time to when
Ooh,
the week
this
started.
got fucking interesting.
Yeah, so you created time travel. It works. We know it works. You go forward in a week, with the time travel machine. You go forward in a week. You see how everything's turned out. You know how things are turned out. You watched in your little window. You've seen everything happen.
Oh, I would do that every week.
Okay.
Every-
it
are you
changed.
kidding me?
It changed now. So you've gone through. You saw everything that happened.
You'd be a fucking superhero.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so
When you go back a week, would you find yourself?
Well, here's
Say hi to
wait
yourself.
a second.
Hey,
Wait a second. So you've created a time machine. You go forward a week, and you can see in your little window everything's happening. Now remember, you're not there. You haven't been there because you've been in your time machine. Remember that too.
Okay.
You just watched the world go by for a week,
Okay.
and you're like, things are happening. I see this is a mistake that has been made. Okay, and I'm not here. Okay.
Right.
You go back in time to when it started, to when you made the time machine, right? You live that timeline in it, so that's a different timeline you have now, right?
Right. Because you're
You're there now.
altering things.
Yeah, and now you're back to your time machine. Now you've seen two different ways time can happen. You've lived this week, right?
Right.
So now you've seen where you've made mistakes in the week. Would you go back in time to a mistake that you made and change it? Just a little bit.
I think that would be.
You're saying you would go back every week to change something.
Well, okay, because that risk you're taking, it's the same risk, but it's much, much smaller.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, you're implying that I don't get to live that week. I just get
You
to
do
see
get
what
to live.
happens.
No. You
In my time machine.
in your time machine.
Okay.
If you choose to go forward in time,
You're just an observer.
you're just an observer.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
is there a version of me in the present living out? No.
Well,
it's
yes, there is, because you went back in time to live that week out. So now you're seeing you living the week out.
No, because
You've now
that's
seen,
two separate things.
Wait a minute.
You're asking two separate questions.
No, I'm not, because it's the same timeline.
Okay,
You're
so
doing the same thing. You have now seen.
there's two different implications, and what I want to clarify of what I would do.
Okay.
Now, if I go forward a week and there is a version of me living that week, and I can
Yeah.
see that and
Yeah.
be like, okay, this is where he fucked up.
Yeah.
Then I go back and change those mistakes. That's one thing.
Okay.
If my time machine is like my Harry Potter bathroom over here, and I just have to sit in there for a week, and the world goes by without me in it,
Yeah.
but I get to see it, then absolutely, because that once you have that capability, that ability is bigger than just you.
Okay.
Because then you can watch the whole week go by, go back in time, and be like, well, this
Now
like,
in that.
you essentially become a superhero.
Well, here's the thing. If you do it that way, and you don't see yourself, if this is the first time you've done it and you don't see yourself, that means that you never chose to go back and relive it. Once you start seeing yourself, that's when you've gone back in time to relive that moment.
Once you see yourself, would you go back in time to relive it?
Well, no.
Relive
I
it
think-
You
again?
have to.
I don't. Oh, you
I think
have
you
to?
just-
You have to,
Yes.
because that's when you saw yourself.
Would you have the obligation to, or can you just skip it? And like, what would happen?
No. Here's what I look
There's
at
a
it.
reason why you went back.
Here's what I'm saying is, I think like that, like, and if you were to live a week and see the world as it was and what happened, and you had the capability, you had that foresight to prevent something terrible from happening in the world during that week, then I think you're almost obligated.
But here's the thing, like, okay, say for example that you can be an outside observer. Now you're not living your own life, by the way. You're just sitting in a fucking time machine taking a shit
Yeah.
in your time machine forever
Just taking a shit.
and just taking a
This is
shit. That's all you do.
Yeah, very
But
long
you're going
shit.
through and you change something, and you see yourself for a second. Like, 'cause if you can stop the time machine, get out and do something, and then come back in, you're gonna see it in your time machine while you're going forward, right? Wait, shh.
You see yourself.
Yes, you see yourself. So you're traveling in your time machine and you're just like watching the world go by because why not? And all of a sudden you see yourself for like a split second, and then you're gone again. And you're like, oh,
there's got to be a reason why you would go back.
You're like, huh,
and there will be a reason.
well, that's just it. So
because that's you.
Yeah, you've seen it go by, and you're like, huh, that's strange. Like you didn't think about it, and then something terrible happens, and you're like, oh man, and you see yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop. Bam. You're like, okay, I gotta stop because you go back to where you saw yourself. This is what I have to do. I go, I do it, and I change everything, and then I come back in the time machine. I go forward because that's the way you're doing it. You're just watching the world go by, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I made a big fucking mistake.
Changing it.
I made a mistake changing it, and then you're like, that's why I went back. That's why I saw myself for that split second before, because I just got out and came back in and relived the timeline the way it was. And so you're like, God.
But then that's a useless ability.
Exactly. Time travel is fucking useless because it creates a time loop. Thank you, world!
Well, no, it wouldn't create a time loop. You would just do it once and then be like, oh, well, this is fucking with everything. I'm never going to do it again.
Exactly. See? Time travel is useless and not possible, so stop arguing
That's
it.
only if you don't branch off into different timelines.
That's also a hugely inflated view of yourself. That something I do is going to fuck up the town.
You are the butterfly, son. You are the butterfly.
I don't know if
it
I
could fuck up a town like thousands of years into the future.
Yeah,
you
could.
But you wouldn't know that.
Right,
you wouldn't know that
exactly.
because you only win a week.
Yeah. So you'd have to
if I could
you would be obligated. You would feel ethically responsible to stay in that time machine and watch things go by so that you could go back and change things that were wrong, but they would still end up fucking things up later, and so you just live with your guilt forever, just like constantly going back and trying to fix things.
I'm just like, I was
How
saying, like,
terrible would that be?
I would travel in the time machine and like watch myself do a set and be like, all right, I fucked those jokes up, and then I'd go back in time and do the set correctly and get a bunch of laughs and then $1 million.
So you're selfish asshole.
I'm just saying.
That's just branching off in several different
timelines. But if no one knows you have time travel,
finding the perfect timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
But that's just it. You're only helping yourself in that matter. You wouldn't use it to help.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get $1 million and then I can donate it to a charity or some shit just because I help myself in that moment.
But then what if you decide to go? So you would stop after that. You would stop.
No, I do it every week.
No, I guess it's the perfect timeline.
You're making the perfect time. You're making your perfect timeline.
But what if you sat?
Because I'm not a piece of shit.
Wait a minute. What if you sat in that time machine and you went forward and you realized that your $10 million that you donated all of a sudden have funded a fucking nuclear bomb, and you're like, fucking shit, I gotta go back and just bomb like a motherfucker.
Then you didn't directly do that.
There's that. You didn't.
So you could just like oh well, I didn't do that on purpose.
Well, no, but now you have
like sit back and let it happen.
You could overthink it and then realize that I fucked up, but no, you didn't directly do that.
But at the same time too, you could.
I saw him get hit by the train. I didn't yell anything about it.
No. But he's right. Like
are
Dan's
you a
right.
bystander or are you a superhero?
But Dan's right. You can craft the perfect timeline. If you go forward and be like, oh, that $10 million I donated caused nuclear war, you just go back and don't donate the $10 million.
But then you're constantly going back in the same week and just fixing the things that you messed up.
I would fuck a week up just because I know I could go back and change it.
I mean,
You're
right?
That's why my favorite episode of Stargate SG-1 is that time when they get stuck in the wormhole loop, and they're just like, we don't give a fuck. Like, they can't get out of it, so they're just like, do it, because there's no consequences. And so, like, Teal'c and What's-His-Face are like doing.
Show I never watched.
It's such a good show. You should watch it. But there's like Teal'c is like this like alien guy that doesn't understand social graces, and then there's like this like the captain who's like he doesn't give a shit about anybody, and they're like playing golf in the wormhole and shit. And I was like, this is fucking hilarious. You guys should watch our Stargate SG-1. It's really funny. It's a good show. Anyway, how do you feel?
I almost wish I had time travel, just the way you described it, just so I could do that.
Yeah, just so you could like.
Yeah, you could craft your perfect timeline, or you could fuck a week up.
Or what about the?
You could do everything you ever wanted to do, and not give a fuck about
You'd
the
be like
consequences.
reliving a bunch of stuff all over, like all the time.
No, because it would be completely different each time.
Yeah,
Like
but
I would go
how would you know?
so far.
I mean, what if everybody had the power to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be bad.
No, but
Would
it's
they all
you.
just be in different timelines though?
Everybody would just have a million times.
They would just branch off into
Yeah,
different
I mean-
timelines where I would only be the one that has
Yeah.
the ability to time travel. That would be my perfect timeline.
Yeah, why not?
I'm the only one that can time
You
travel.
just you keep like blowing up people's time machines and shit.
Fuck your time
Fuck
machine.
your time machine. I got it first, bitch.
That other dude is like, I did it, and you just like,
God damn
And
it!
you
oh,
knew-
that redhead.
Every time.
You did it first, and you knew he did it, so you go back in time and fuck his
Oh
time
my
machine
god,
up.
that'd be so messed up. You'd be such an asshole. You both would be assholes if you guys got time machines. You'd just be going around
I mean-
fucking people's shit up.
No, we wouldn't be assholes because we'd fix it. No one would know.
Right.
No one would know.
No one would know.
This is just.
No one in my
This is-
timeline would know.
Exactly. No one in our timelines would know because we would fix it every
Look,
time.
I'm not a bad person. I just don't have the same morals as you.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Like you have an opportunity
Yeah.
like that. Like basically,
What about?
no. You were offering someone the idea of a world and a life without consequence.
I guess.
Well, I guess unless
Then you just be a
fucking
shitty
kill
person.
yourself.
Again. What if you had?
no one would
a
know. That's
button-
no
What if you
consequence.
had? What if you had the button?
No negative consequence.
No negative.
You guys know the
consequences.
last episode of Futurama where? Did you see that one?
No.
You didn't know that? Why? So they
See the one
have
with the dog?
no.
So
Fry's dog
the-
is so like it's not the first season.
The time travel back.
It's the
in
button.
10
So they
seconds back
have
in
the
time.
button only
And it
lets you go
recharges.
back in time 15 seconds.
That's
From
like,
the-
And
that's
it
like Galaxy
recharges
Quest.
for 15 seconds, so you can't press it again for 15
Yeah,
seconds.
it takes 15 seconds to charge, but you can only go back in time 15 seconds.
Okay.
So you press the button, you go backwards in time 15 seconds, and then you live it again.
Right. You
And
can fix a mistake.
You can fix
basically.
a mistake. Oh, one mistake,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You can fix one mistake.
And so you
That's
like
what
go
they did in
along.
Galaxy Quest.
And and then you have and it takes 15 seconds to recharge, so you can't go backwards more.
Right.
You can only go back to that 15 seconds. So you're just like blah blah blah, things are happening, some stupid mistake you made. You're like, boop, go back, fix the mistake real quick. That's what you're suggesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to fix the mistake really quick, and then just keep going on your merry way. And oops, another nice boop. And as long as it's 15 seconds later, or you can fix the same mistake if it didn't turn out the same
Yeah.
way that you wanted it to. So you're doing that, and so would you do that? Just like kind of constantly resetting the world every 15 seconds.
I mean,
if you made a mistake,
Would it be like in Futurama where everybody notices?
no, nobody notices.
Oh no, if you're in the time
If you're in
travel
the
bubble.
if
or
you're in the time travel bubble, then
bubble.
everybody notices. Yeah, but like so
No, yeah, nobody notices.
nobody notices at all.
Zoidberg's like, oh,
Oh, yeah, I love him.
loses $1
He
every time.
loses $20 like each time. You're like, damn it. Yeah, but that would be the idea, is that you can basically just fix a one mistake thing. That's a very simplified version of time travel.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay with that.
But
But then you end up in Fry's situation,
Yeah, what happens-
where you jump off of or you fall off of something very tall.
that's the last episode.
No, yeah,
didn't
no.
watch
He
it?
goes to the top of a building to have a date with Leela.
And you're gonna ask
And-
her to marry him?
And since he's been using the time travel button so many times, his watch was like off by a
Off,
little bit.
yeah.
So he thought Leela was late, so he jumped off a building.
He thought, yeah, but then he's like, oh
And then he
no!
sees- he sees her
then he
walking
sees her
in.
coming up because his watch is wrong, and so he like sees her like, oh my gosh, I thought that you were like, and he's like, hold on, I'll fix this, and he presses the button, but he went back to the point where he had just started
Still
falling,
falling.
and so he's just
So he
in a
keeps
constant
falling.
15-second falling loop, like how?
And then eventually he falls asleep.
Yeah.
And then he just dies.
Yeah,
And then Leela presses
and then
the
Leela
button
keeps like
and he comes back.
keeps reliving his death
over and over again. It's such a fucked up episode.
so messed up.
That's the
Don't
last
worry,
episode.
Though. Don't worry, it has a happy ending. Don't worry.
What you have to tell me what
can't
happened.
tell you now.
Fry lives at least once in that episode.
He does. I can't tell you. I can't. You have to watch the last episode. It's so good. It's so cute. It's so heartwarming. Trust me. Listeners.
Fry definitely
listen.
does die a lot, but
He does
lives
die a
once.
lot,
He lives
but he's
once.
died in other episodes too. Remember. So be okay. Be It's a cartoon, everybody. It's not
It's
real.
not real.
But gosh darn it, if it's not one of the best shows ever written ever. You have to watch the last episode. It was so good.
So in this episode, we covered Contact, we covered Interstellar, we covered Galaxy Quest, Terminator, Back to the Future, Futurama, and a little bit of physics. So
Yay!
So all in all,
Job well done, everybody.
good.
All right, and the question I think that we really do need to have a Twitter
something.
account. The question I want to pose to the listeners is, if you could time travel, would you? And maybe you don't have to go into specifics, but what do you think you would change? Would you change, some of the things that have happened to our world, or would you just change that mistake that you made 15 seconds ago?
Would you change it for you?
Yeah, would you change it for you? Would you
people?
change it for the greater good? What are your ideas on time travel as an ethical thing? I think it's a very interesting open-ended question.
Tweet us at hashtag PSA podcast.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start that hashtag. Why not?
Hashtag!
All right.
Yay.
I like
This has
hashtags.
been episode 6. What are we doing next week?
I want to do intelligence, because we did artificial intelligence.
Right.
I want to do regular.
Okay. Regular intelligence.
Or normal intelligence.
Normal
Biological intelligence.
All right. So that is
Humans or
going to be
otherwise.
Humans or otherwise.
that is going to be the subject of episode 7.
Woo!
That's going to be in the future.
We're going to record it, though, for posterity.
At some time.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Stop.
You ready to stop?
Please.
All right.
We haven't done
We
that.
We've
started-
had our special guest Dan. Thank you for
Yay,
being
thank
here.
you,
Thank you for
Dan
having
Bowman.
me.
I'm Brent Blakeney.
I'm Brett Williams.
See you guys next week.
Bye.